All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is November 20th, 2025. What a big day for the Bears. Bears making big time gains, moving price lower from a position way up high. Let's take a look at the markets today. How I made 8,300 with a 74K account, only risking 74K. Price action right here today. We had a follow through with a 10-minute uptrend, traded that, made some profit, and then traded this. Now, I didn't trade it with puts, but I did trade it with NVIDIA bear call credit spread. So I traded that with the credit spread for NVIDIA on the way down here. And then I tried the little rallies through here, and they all failed, being since we're getting near support. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. I'll be looking for continuation of the 10-minute downtrend on the 2-hour chart. We have a 2-hour downtrend coming into the close on the daily chart. Massive bookends right here. Huge bookend here, huge bookend here. Definitely got ourselves into a downtrend on SPY daily. We were already in a downtrend. It looked like we had hopes of negating the uptrend. Couldn't quite make it. Couldn't hold the higher ground. Not a good sign for the bulls. The Bears pretty much own the day. Tomorrow, I'll be looking for follow through on the big candle. Now, last time we had a big candle, we didn't get any follow through. Okay, and then the Bears, the bulls smelled the weakness. All right, and they rallied it up to make a new high. Okay, so now we're going. What do you mean the sound? Okay. Start it all over. All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is November 20th, 2025. Bears made some headway today, made some big time gains. How I made 8,300 on a 74K account. Let's go take a look at the markets. All right, back to the 10-minute chart. Made some profits trading a continuation of the 10-minute uptrend from the open. Okay, it said I was going to trade 10-minute uptrend into the open. Okay, then we had some downtrend right through here. I did not trade any puts on the way down, but I did have NVIDIA debit spread, all right, and a NVIDIA call credit spread. And I was able to trade that on the way down on the NVIDIA. Not the SPY, but the NVIDIA from the trade that I took yesterday. All right, so here's SPY 10-minute chart. You can see right here, 10-minute downtrend. I'll be looking for continuation of the 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. All right, when we open up tomorrow, another continuation of that 10-minute downtrend on the 2-hour chart. We have a 2-hour, we had an uptrend for a micro minute, and then we lost it with the big red candle, and that one had follow through. Got 2-hour chart, 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. Take a look at the daily chart. On the daily chart, got some bookends here. Big red candle here, big red candle here. Now, right here, last time we had a big red candle, there was no follow through. Okay, so we need to see follow through tomorrow. Without the follow through, all right, the bulls smelled the weakness, and look what they did. They rallied price all the way back up to make a new all-time high. All right. Here we are again, deja vu, right? We need to see follow through tomorrow, all right? Without the follow through, the bulls could smell the weakness one more time and rally price all the way back up to the highs, possibly even making a new all-time high. We'll see what happens, okay? But this is SPY on the daily. Got to have follow through on the igniting candle down. All right, so that's the daily chart. We're in a downtrend. Yes, that is true, but we're still going to need to see follow through. All right? Going to have to see follow through. Now, you can do a H pattern rollover where price comes back up to this valley between the two peaks. Okay? All right? And they could roll over right there. Yeah, we need follow through tomorrow. Now, if they don't do follow through, we're likely to see price rally back up to this valley low between the two peaks right here, and then do a H pattern rollover. That's more of what I think is going to probably happen. All right, is the possible rally back up to the valley low of between the two peaks, only because I see on T2123 we're right into support. Yes, and that's true also that tomorrow may not be a true thermometer or measuring tool simply because it's options expiration. So we'll see what happens, all right? But this is going to need to see some follow through eventually. We can see like a doji or a spinning top, all right? But the bulls need to either, if we get the doji or the spinning top, the following day, that would be Monday, the bulls are going to need to rally it right back up there, okay? If not, chances are we're going to roll over right here at this valley low between the two peaks and head lower. All right, so there's SPY on the daily chart. I kind of picture that happening more so than the bulls stepping in and rallying it all the way back up. I think we make the lower high right over here and then roll over. We'll see, unless we get follow through tomorrow. It'll be definitely going to be an exciting day tomorrow, no matter what we get. I think it will be filled with a lot of volatility. We'll see with some big moves. All right, so there's SPY on the daily. Weekly chart. We're breaking below this low, but this low is not below the 17. Okay, so we're making a lower low, but it's not below the 17. This is the low to beat down here. SPY, by definition of using the 17, is still in an uptrend. Now, it's possible they make a lower low below the 17 this time, only to rally it back up and then break it the next time. We'll see. That's a weekly chart, still in an uptrend, even though we're still over or under the 17 EMA right here. Okay, we still haven't made the lower low, so we'll see what happens. Probably going to be in a downtrend if we put in like another candle here below the 17. We'll see. Monthly chart, obviously totally eclipsing bearish engulfing. Again, on the monthly chart, they need follow through on the monthly chart. Otherwise, this is just one big red candle, and it's not the. It will be a bullish engulfing, but you need follow through on the bullish engulfing for it to be effective. All right, so there's SPY on the monthly chart. All right, let's go look at QQQ. QQQ daily chart, 10-minute first, 10-minute downtrend. I'll be looking to trade a continuation of the 10-minute downtrend. 2-hour chart, 2-hour downtrend. Definitely got weakness there. On the daily chart, we've got a couple of bookends, just like we did in SPY. Again, we'll be looking for follow through tomorrow. They could pause it or look for them to bring it on back to this valley low between the two peaks and H pattern rollover. All right, so there's QQQ on the daily chart. All right, on the weekly chart, still in an uptrend. They're breaking below the 17 here. All right, so kind of trying to start a downtrend on QQQ. Monthly chart, bearish engulfing. Again, we're going to need follow through on the monthly chart. All right, so again, I think there's a possibility based on T2123 that we wind up doing the H pattern rollover, only because I see price right now bringing it into support on T2123, which would be prior support, which would be right on this one. You can see here's the support line. This is where we found support before. Okay, so I'm not sure if we'll find it again. We'll find out here tomorrow. You can see that spikes down underneath the line, so it's possible they rally it right back up and do the H pattern rollover. We'll see what they want to do. All right, there's T2123. Okay, so now back to right here. Okay, that's QQQ. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow on the daily chart. All right, Diamond Dow on daily chart. Again, big red candle, a little bookend for the other one. Outside day, that's a higher high and a lower low, closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath the 17 EMA. Could be follow through on Diamond Dow tomorrow. All right, so Diamond Dow in a downtrend, making a lower low, so still in a downtrend. From the perspective of quadrant 4, we're still could be bullish up here in quadrant 4. All right, but we're in a downtrend. We're not showing any signs of rallying. We'll see what happens. Again, it will make all the difference as soon as they get out of the upper third. Okay, as long as they stay in the upper third, they're still bullish. There's still the possibility of them being bullish. There's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM, another outside day. All right, higher high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap. Looking for IWM to come down here and hit the April low, anchored VWAP, and bounce back up. All right, so there's daily chart. Almost losing the upper third right here. Okay, a little bit more to go, and they completely out of the upper third, and they will be neutral as opposed to bullish. Right now, bullish and in a downtrend, nothing working. So doesn't look like too much further, and they're no longer going to be in the upper third. They'll be down here in the neutral territory. There's IWM, FNGU. FNGU breaking the major support right here. Bearish outside day, higher high, lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. We may come down here and find a bounce somewhere in through here. We'll see. They're definitely losing the upper third line. They're just barely in it right now. You can see right there, they're into this minor support of this consolidation. They get any lower, they're not going to be in the upper third. You should probably do the quadrant lines, the Fibonacci, but we'll see. FNGU daily chart still in a downtrend, still bullish because it's in the upper third up here. Okay, so let's take a look at silver and gold. Silver and gold putting in lower highs, lower lows, closing under bullish traps, but over the 17 EMA. That's silver. Still bullish, still in an uptrend for silver. Gold. Gold, lower high, lower low, closing inside of a bearish trap, but over the 17 EMA and under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still has not made a lower low. So it is still bullish and still in an uptrend. UNG got a lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA, consolidating up here, trying to make a breakout of the lower third area down here. Still bearish, still in an uptrend right there. USO got a higher low there's 70.11. Low here is 70.02. Outside day, higher high, lower low. Closing under a bearish trap under the 17. Still under the downtrend line. Still under the post-COVID high anchored VWAP right here. And still neutral, but in a downtrend on USO. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2101. Again, we moved down. So we had increased participation or breadth in the market. So there's T2101, T2122. We ripped almost into the buy zone. We found our way into the buyer's chop zone right through here. Buyer's chop zone. And from there, we ripped all the way down and made, see this low? We made a lower low. So inside the oversold zone. And we camped out there just about all day, all right, for, well, at least past noon, we camped out inside the oversold zone. So market's looking weaker and weaker day by day here, all right. The big one is going to be these two right here coming up next. T2123. Spiking the support line. Making a lower low on the 15. So we got still in a downtrend. T2123. 3-bar chart. Still in a downtrend. Not sure when the bulls are going to step up and move price in the other direction. Maybe it doesn't happen. We'll find out. This would be the place. They're clearly about to lose the upper third because the upper third would be bullish. All right. If they lose this upper third, there's a chance that we're coming back down here to the neutral, back to the midpoint, and then maybe even visit the top side of the lower third. So we'll see what happens with that. So there's 3-bar chart in a downtrend, but still up here in bullish territory, but definitely not moving up. Again, under the 200 SMA, just like it is on the 15-minute chart. We could see OPEX tomorrow. Like I said, there could be a little bit of a rally, all right? And I'm looking for them to kind of roll over, see where that valley, see this valley between two peaks, how it touches the top of that. So I'm looking for possible price action back up to this area here. If we get a bounce, I'd be looking to come back up to this area or that valley low between the two peaks in SPY and QQQ. All right, and then I would look for an H pattern rollover from there. We'll see what happens. FNGU losing the upper ground up here, giving it up almost immediately. They couldn't hold it for, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 15-minute candles, and then they exited the area. Okay, so there's 15-minute candles for FNGU. Obviously in a downtrend because there's some lows. We made lower lows. We're under the 200 SMA. We're under the all-time high anchored VWAP. And we broke the support, major support right here. Things could start looking ugly pretty soon. We'll see tomorrow's options expiration. Who knows what they have in store for us. We could see a bounce. Not sure how high the bounce takes us. But we'll find out sometime tomorrow. So there's FNGU. That's it for me for today. Got some questions. People don't follow. Japan and its interest rate have fueled the tech for a long time. Borrow cheap. Japan invest for gains. The dynamic is removed now that they got their prime minister recently. Japan 30-year bonds under stress with rising rates. This shuts the flow of capital to carry trade to the U.S. tech sector. Okay, and there's the Japanese VIX is spiking right here on Texas. Tech shared a chart of the Japan 30-year bond along with the VIX also spiking right there. So not looking good for Japan. I guess if they've been buying some of our debt, that's not going to be good for the tech industry in the future right there. All right, so that's it for today. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Again, we're going to be looking for follow through on the big red candles. Big time follow through on the big red candles. We'll see what happens tomorrow.